My wife and I were driving through New Mexico. We had just seen Carlsbad Caverns. It was beautiful. Then, on the way to El Paso, our 2007 Kia Optima's engine just died, completely roasted itself. The stereo still worked, the AC still worked, but the car wouldn't move. We were in the middle of the desert. No cell signal, no other cars, nothing but sand and heat and the road stretching for miles. It was late afternoon and the sun was starting to go down. I kept thinking, what if nobody comes? What if we're out here all night? We had water, but not much. We had no way to call for help. We just sat there praying someone would drive by. Then a man named Joe pulled over. He lived in El Paso and worked near Carlsbad. He told us this road was usually empty. The only reason anyone drove it was on Friday nights going home for the weekend. If we had broken down even an hour earlier or later, or on a different road, we might have been there for days. Joe had broken down in the same area before. He knew exactly who to call for a tow truck, where to get a rental car, which repair shops were open on Saturday. He stayed with us until help came. He didn't have to do any of that. He just saw us and knew he had to help. We still talk to Joe. He's part of our lives now. But I think about it all the time, how close we came to being stranded in the desert with no way out. How one person's kindness was the difference between a bad night and a tragedy. My name is Evie. I'm from the Czech Republic, but I was living in England. On August 13th, 2015, I was driving when my front wheel hit a pothole on the side of the road. The car spun into oncoming traffic. We hit another car at a combined speed of 100 miles per hour. I don't remember the crash. I'm grateful for that. What I remember is waking up in the car. Everything was in slow motion. It was completely silent. No smell, no touch, just nothing. Then the adrenaline hit, and I smelled smoke. I dragged myself out of the car. My legs weren't working. I didn't know why. I didn't know where I was. I just knew I didn't want to burn. I spent 2 months in the hospital. I couldn't feel my legs. I had tubes everywhere, doctors asking me questions I couldn't answer. I didn't have my family there. I was alone in a foreign country, dependent on strangers. I had to learn to walk again. The first time I took a step, I cried and laughed at the same time. The first time I could brush my own hair with my right hand, I felt like I'd won something. I have scars now. I cherish them. They tell my story, but I still get scared in cars. I still feel the nothingness sometimes, right before the adrenaline hits. My name is Rob. I was 17 years old. I was in a car with 3 of my friends. We were just kids. We thought we were invincible. The crash happened in a split second. I don't remember much. Just the sound of metal, the feeling of the world turning upside down, and then silence. When I woke up, I was still in the car, but my friends weren't moving. They were gone. I was trapped. Rescuers had to pry open the sunroof to get me out. I was bruised, shaken, but alive. The other 3 weren't. I spent weeks in a coma. When I woke up, I learned the extent of my injuries. I would never walk the same way again. I would never be the same person again. The guilt was the worst part. Why did I survive? Why was I the only one? It took me years to find purpose again. I started playing wheelchair basketball. I started speaking to young drivers about road safety. I tell them my story so they understand that a split-second decision can change everything. But I still hear the silence after the crash. I still see my friends' faces. I still wonder why I was the one who made it out of that car alive.